The demonic entities that run this world wipe our minds when we're born so that we don't remember. But those who seek the truth and ask for the truth instead of riches and fame and fortune and stuff will see the truth because they're dedicated to that truth. Now, I was a child who was 5 or 4, I'm not sure around that age, and I asked the teacher after we sung a Shirley Temple song, I put my little hand up and I said, "Why did God put us here?" And she got really angry at me instead of telling me, and that's when I realised that, the adults in this world had no idea what was going on. I knew that something wasn't right with this world, and I knew also that the adults didn't know, so I had to find the truth. Now, I was a very pious child that sung to God and whatnot when I was little, and I was very into nature and stuff. And yeah, it was sort of like, I felt odd, like everyone seemed to be happy doing their little thing in life, and there's me going, something's wrong here, what the fuck's going on? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And it took me, 43 years. But now that I've done the work and I've done the discipline and I've been through all the trauma that they put me through and the torture, I can safely say that I've survived it, and that I have gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge and been given some gifts along the way. That gifts that money can't buy. So yeah, and the main job I've done in my life is try to take down the demonic entities so that they're not affecting humans so much, and humans can be more kind, and they can stop infesting our bodies, our plants, our animals, our trees, our waters, and basically get rid of them. They're not meant to be here. They're invaders. They wipe our memories, but they don't wipe their own memories, so they know. That's why you can meet someone who's really dark and stuff, and they seem to be all-knowing, or they're psychic, but it's not that they're psychic and all-knowing, it's just that they never got their memory wiped from life to life like more normal humans did, especially the ones that have a destiny that they don't want unfolding, so they can see into the future, because they created past, present and future, and they can find out what your destiny is, and they will try their best to stop you. So now, when I was 12, I wanted to be a religious teacher, and I was raised Muslim, and I wanted to wear a hijab and cover my hair up and teach children how to read the ABCs of Arabic and teach them to read the Quran and how to pray and things like that. Now, my mother, who apparently was Muslim, when she felt like it, wouldn't let me wear a hijab or be a Muslim teacher. Yeah, I had to spend my spare time as a kid after school and that going to religious class and learning all this stuff, but I wasn't allowed to be it and actually embody it and live it. Just had to use it to make myself seem like I'm some sort of good person. But only put the hijab on sometimes, in front of the religious teacher or at the mosque, and that's it. So it felt like a real two-faced, half-assed, you can't be half a Muslim, you're either a Muslim or you're not. So I became very rebellious teenager and started smoking pot and doing all sorts of stuff, and I was on the search for the truth. So I then went on to spirituality. I suppose I met this lady. I read this book called Follow Your Heart, and I met this lady, and she said, "Do you want to come learn healing?" And I said, "Okay, what's that?" And she showed a book, and it said Spirit Guides, a tiny book. And I said, "What's Spirit Guide?" I was sat next to her on the train. She goes, I can't remember what she said. And then she said, "Do you want to come learn healing?" And I said, "Okay." So then next minute, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm at this lady's house, and I'm learning Reiki, and she put her hands over me with this other lady, and it took me to a full past life regression. And that spun me out because I was reliving a past life, a trauma from a past life. And I think that was my first life. When they took me, I was only 5, and they had massacred my whole village. I was about 5 years old. I was a Native American Indian chasing a bear, chasing a butterfly. And when I got back to my village, my whole village was massacred. And the white men or people took me away. And I don't remember what else happened. I think it was too traumatic to try and remember. But, it was more, the main trauma was the devastation of losing my whole family. So I was left alone, and since that first life and all the lives I've lived, I've always been alone, like a loner. Because that's what they've done to me on purpose, to isolate me, but, that only strengthened my connection with Beyond the Veil, because I didn't have anyone physically with me or on my side physically in all my lifetimes. Then I had also, my spirit guides, my past loved ones, things like that. The ascended masters, the gods, the Jesus, Mother Mary, many other beings that had come to me, angels, all sorts of things. So they thought that they could isolate me and keep everything and everyone away from me, and think that would break me. It didn't work, because I had other beings. I already knew that there were so many other beings in the universe, because I knew from a child I could see them. I could see a black hand that would terrorise me. It was like Thing from the Addams Family, and it was an animated black glove-looking thing. And it used to come up the side of my bed. And I used to just cry in the hallway, and my parents would just leave me there. I'd get back up on my bed, and one day I decided to go up to the hand, and I whacked it. I gave it a whack, and then I can't remember what happened to it. It disappeared or something. But I just felt like I was brave one day. I was brave. I was going to whack you. So I did, and I didn't see it as often, and if I went near it, it would run away, because I'd whack it. Anyway, so I always had trouble sleeping, because one, I had this hand that'd come in my room, among other things and other beings, and if I slept, I'd dream about hell worlds, and I'd dream about lions chasing me, trying to eat me around my own yard, and things like that. It was really horrible. So I've had insomnia my whole life, basically, since early childhood. I'm sleeping like a baby now, but it took me a long time to find a sense of self, because most people are trying to drop their ego and not have a sense of self. Well, when I first meditated when I was about 16 or 17 years old, I meditated, and it was a chakra meditation, and I went through the first 2 chakras. It was like tensing and relaxing the chakras. And I got from the base chakra to the sacral chakra, and maybe to the 3rd one. I don't know where, but it was definitely not past the 3rd. It was the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. I think by the 2nd I was just moving on to the 3rd. And I got a whole rush of energy come up my body, up my legs, up my whole body, tingling the whole lot into my head. And then I just felt this oneness with God. Everything was perfect, and I had no thoughts, no mind, no emotions, and I had joy though. I had joy, and I skipped up to the high school, and I sat on the hill looking over the city at the Wanneroo High School, and I just felt totally at one. It was like utter perfection, and there was no thoughts, no desires, no nothing. I just was at one with all things, but the problem was I'd lost my identity. The whole person, Salima, and what she liked and didn't like and didn't do was gone. So it's like the drop of me, the individual me, was lost in the ocean at 17 years old. So it took me about 42 years to find that drop in the ocean, and then create a sense of self around myself, so that I could then set boundaries with people. And I'd been labelled bipolar my whole life, although no energy worker can see bipolar in my energy field, because I became like the emotional sponge for the world, so I would absorb everyone else's negative emotions. They would use my innocence and my goodness to hide their shit so that they couldn't get seen, and I would take on their karma. So basically, I've been everyone's karmic emotional punching bag for over 40 years of my life. The scapegoat of the family, the black sheep. I've got a huge smear campaign against me. Apparently, like, it's all over the world. I don't really look it up, but, I've had friends and that tell me it's all over the world. It's all over, there's chat rooms about me, all sorts of stuff. So if I'm getting that much attention worldwide and they paid that many people to write that many articles about me, that's a lot of fucking money that's been spent on me. And the amount of times I've nearly died, I feel like I'm like Mr. Magoo reborn, like I must have been Mr. Magoo once, because I have so many near misses with death that it's not funny, like in cars, I don't even know where to start, and not only that, I literally have people have a hitman on me trying to kill me. I've also had them try to frame me. They mismedicated me 5 years ago or so, and I literally lost I was, they did break me for a while, but I got closer to God. Anyway, one day after I've been crying for years, and this is before I found out that it wasn't my fault, I said to God, look, it's my fault what happened with my baby and stuff. My son, please put me in the deepest, darkest hell. Put me there and leave me there forever, and please make it better for my children in this world. And I meant it, and God said back to me, you're free from karma. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, you're free from karma. And I was like, okay. That's weird. I wasn't sure if I believed in karma or not, but I got told by God that I was free from karma. And I wasn't looking to be free. I wanted to make life nicer and better for everyone else, and I was happy to go to hell to do that forever. I mean, I volunteered to go to hell for eternity to make life better for everyone else, especially my children. To make the world better, more peaceful, and a better life for them. And if that meant if I could go to hell forever and know that my children were happy and had a better life, then that meant that my life didn't mean like go for nothing, that I at least used my life for the greater good of my children and humanity. So also when he did that, he turned my knowingness into an all-knowingness. Why did he do that? I don't know. So I'll know a lot of stuff that I'm not supposed to know. I remember my lives, like all my past lives. I remember my skills. I remember being born. I remember before time existed. I remember before any religion or worship to anything existed here, before there was any humans here. I remember all that. And I'm not supposed to remember, and we're not supposed to remember any of it, because we get wiped every lifetime. So this was the lifetime I woke up and remembered it, and got all my parts of me and put me back together again. Because Humpty Dumpty and his 10 horses weren't able to do it, Humpty, so how's anyone going to put me back together besides myself? So I have put myself back together after all the shit I've been through. I survived a covert narcissist mother, a father that enabled it but pretended that he was my father, a good friend, a sister that was in on it too, a brother that was a narcissist asshole. Yeah, I won't go into it more. But yeah, it's basically been a world of disappointing people for me, and it doesn't make me perfect. Yeah, I had times when I was not the greatest person, like when I was young, a teenager and stuff. I didn't know how to be, I suppose, being dyslexic, ADD and autistic, although labelled with bipolar. If I was to be self-diagnosed, I have ADD, dyslexia definitely, and I have autism. I'm on the spectrum. But that doesn't mean anything really to me. It just means that they're just medical terms for sensitive, empathic people. You don't become empathic from being born like that. You might be born as a seer or be able to see like I did, but I wasn't empathic. I didn't become an empath until I'd lost my identity and became one with everything, which was beautiful. Enlightenment, yeah. So I've been enlightened since I was 17, and I've been siphoned off by others, trying to steal my energy for their greater good, trying to use my creative energy to design things that are not for the greater good. People trying to steal my destiny, even like trying to be me, copy me. So yeah, I'm destined to be a spiritual teacher, whether I like it or not. I want to just be a nobody, invisible, invent it all. But and if I get called by spirit to come forward, by the eternal energy that permeates all of our existence in our hearts, if that speaks or asks me to be seen, that's the only reason I'm making this video right now, because I'd rather not be seen. I'm not one of those people, I want to make all this money and I want to be famous off YouTube. No, that's not it. I want to be a nobody, nothing that is left alone to live in the Amazon jungle with my Jaguar pet. That's what I really want. But, God granted me freedom, and He granted me freedom from karma, and it's my kids that keep me alive and make me want to make it a better place with the gifts I've been given by God, which I didn't ask for. But I realised that I'm different. Not everyone has these gifts. Not everyone has a knowingness. Not everyone has a power. Not everyone has a fearlessness. Not everyone has an invincibility or an invisibility, or to be intangible to them and invisible and all that. It's not an easy feat to become that, but it's just a matter of staying out of the negative vibrations that they want to trigger you into. So it's like staying out of anger as best you can, which is just a reaction to loss. So agree to lose it, and you won't be angry. What else is there? Anyway, all emotions are just reactions to the mind's program that was programmed into it since birth. So we were born with a blank slate. Right, so the goal is to get back to that blank slate, but still be alive as an adult, functioning adult. Not functioning successfully in the way society says, but functioning in the sense that you can follow the eternal flow that's flowing through you in the direction it's taking you, rather than trying to steer the boat where you want it, your ego wants it to go, or trying to manifest what you think your ego wants. That's just upsetting the natural balance. We need to accept where we're at, we need to suffer our karma silently, and we need to stop creating more of it. And the only way to become omniscient is to have the goal of love. First becomes the goal of love, and that love has to expand. Then you have to be aware of where you're not being loving, unconsciously and subconsciously, and bring that to light. That's the shadow that you need to bring to light, is your unconscious and subconscious, to become aware of it. And as soon as you're aware of it, you've shown the light on it, and then it's no longer affecting you behind the scenes. You can choose, okay, I'm going to ditch this because it's not all loving, it's judgmental towards others that I don't even know. That could be in your subconscious or unconscious. The trick is to bring your three consciousness together as one, so that then your conscious, unconscious and subconscious is all together. Or you can imagine like an ocean, and you've got a basketball in that ocean, and in where the basketball is bouncing, that's where what you're conscious of in that moment. And imagine, and the rest is unconscious and subconscious, the rest of the water. So imagine that basketball growing to the whole size of the ocean, so then you're aware and you've lit up the whole ocean, so you become aware of your conscious and unconscious, so it'll be easier to get things. There's a lot of little exercises you can do to get your subconscious beliefs out so you can understand what they are. Anyway, I just follow my visions. I'm a visionary. I see visions. I see them with my eyes closed, eyes open. I see them in trance. I'm not trance. I see them when I'm having normal conversations with people. And, I've just always followed them because they are truth compared to all these people in my life that are trying to tell me what to do and how to do it and all that, which obviously aren't happy. They're not following the natural flow because they'd be blissful if they were. And, they want to tell me not to follow my flow because they don't want my destiny to unfold because they feel threatened by it. I don't know. Anyway, I've had enough talking right now. What I will say is that I really hope everyone's true destiny unfolds at a rapid rate or at a natural rate, and may all negativity that's been projected at you be gone back to where it came from, and may you stay in your truth, stand in your truth and your courage, and fight for your soul, and make sure you never sell it for anything, not a gift, not nothing. No gifts are given to you without you knowing only, are real gifts. So if you're being given the gift of all-knowingness or a magical power of some sort, it's only being given to you because of your not wanting it, not needing it. And if you get offered it in a meditation or something, always say no. But one day you might wake up and you just feel different and you just know things, how do you know them? Then that's how you know that it's been bestowed upon you without, it's a true gift from the divine. Gifts from the divine are gifts like presents. You don't get to choose what present you get, or if you even get one. You just do your job and you be a good person, and if you are bestowed with something, you are. And the other trick is, not a trick, like I said in one of my TikTok posts, you be like water. But always take the lowest ground. So I don't care how defamed I am around the world as the world's worst mother will find. Put me at the lowest spot. I'll even go even lower, Go as low can go. And I'll be the nothing, nobody lowest, which all men loathe. That spot, I'll take the last place. And I intentionally did that. It was something my old teacher taught me. Without knowing that, if you're going to make me the world's worst thing, then you're going to also make me the world's best at something too, because you can't be one, this pendulum's got to swing the other way, So unfortunately, because you made me well known as the bad person in this world, you're also going to make me well known as the good person by default without me wanting it, without you wanting it, but because of your resistance to me being known to be the good guy, you spent so much time trying to make me out as the bad guy and influence people that you didn't realise that at the same time you're making me the bad guy, you're also making me the good guy, which will cast to come around eventually, And I just wanted to be anonymous forever. But sometimes, when you decide to take the lowest path and become nothing, you don't realise that you also by default become everything. And once you become one with everything, you become magnetic and you become like a lighthouse for humanity. And, I want to be that lighthouse, but I only want to be that lighthouse for those that are of good heart, or pure-hearted, and those that don't have pure intentions. I don't even want you to see me, look at me, or anything ever again. I want to be invisible, intangible to you, and make my life none of your business, because the only reason you want to know me is so that you can either be me, steal from me, copy from me, or send negative vibes and black magic my way and psychic attack. So I pray that I am invisible, invincible, and intangible to all negative energies that are man-made, that have infested this natural world, and so it is. And so it is for you too, if you're a pure heart. And yeah, have a lovely evening.